Okay.
Hello and welcome to an episode with the lovely Debbie Crouch. We are going to talk about creativity and art for wellness because she is the lady to talk about this with. So in this episode, we're going to discuss this and how exploring creativity in wellness can actually really benefit us so much. So Debbie, before we get started, do you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Dani. My name's Debbie Crouch, and I'm a creative wellness mentor, artist, and author. And I help people to learn how to draw and paint and journal in a way that would support their well-being. And I offer exclusive groups and memberships that help people who are struggling, feeling significant, lost, or alone, who want to come out of the shadows and gain confidence through participating and engaging in creative activities that support well-being and mental health. And we do this through creative arts workshops and our exclusive wellbeing community. So I'm delighted to be here today to talk about art for wellness because it's something that I'm really passionate about. Do you want me to introduce how it started and just give a little bit of background?
That's exactly what I was
Yeah.
just about to ask. Yeah, if you could start off with kind of your journey, that would be amazing because then we love a story, don't we? And it'll be amazing to hear that as well. So yeah, tell us how it all started.
Right. Well, going back to lockdown, I set up a Facebook group, which was a group that was private, so that it was only for members only, and it was a way of sharing affirmations, positive pictures, artwork. If I went for a walk, I'd take pictures and share it in there, and it was a way to share with others what I was lucky enough to have around me by living in the countryside. And the group just grew phenomenally in a way that I would never have expected. Well, by which it grew to over 10,000 people in less than 6 months worldwide. And it just blew my mind to realize that there were so many people out there that felt a connection with it.
Yeah.
So, through a conversation with a friend, they suggested, had I thought about going into business? And my first reaction was, me going into business? I don't know what I'm doing. Through support and mentoring and help, I set up Creative Wellness Journey CIC, which is a not-for-profit organisation, because my ethos at the beginning is I wanted to be able to share how to learn to draw and paint for free so that people could link into that and start from somewhere, because I had my own personal mental wellness journey. So going back a little bit further, and at my worst, I felt that I didn't have any confidence. I didn't have any goals or what I wanted to do in life. I felt lost and alone. And did a vision board. And on this vision board, it was really simple. And it was about things that I wanted to do. And this was done through Recovery College. And I put things like going out for coffee with friends, learning to draw, doing some photography, going for a walk, traveling a little bit more, just looking at the clouds in the sky. And there was lots of really little simple things on there. But one thing it opened up was that I really wanted to learn to draw and paint.
Yeah.
And the old me used to say, oh, when I'm retired, I'll do it. When I'm older, when I've got more time. And there was always an excuse for not doing it, because when you're a people pleaser and you're pleasing everyone else, you put yourself to the
Yeah.
bottom of the list and you don't think about what your needs are. Anyway, I plucked up courage to get in touch with the local college that were offering art for wellness lessons, learning how to draw and paint. And I can remember feeling really nervous. But yet the art teacher, he was really good, and he made me feel that I could go along and that it would be a safe space. And it was. And going to these classes every week and just being able to pick up a pencil and learn how to draw and then learn how to paint, it was amazing. It really supported my well-being. And I was able to meet other people as well. In fact, I've been lucky enough to meet my best friend, my mentor, and my business partner called Heather. and she's part of Art for Wellness as well. And we actually met through doing the classes. And after I'd been doing it for a couple of years, I thought, I want to share this with other people.
Yeah.
You know, because it had changed me so much and made me so much more confident. I wanted to be able, if I could just give that little bit of spark to somebody else, I wanted to be able to share it with them. So that was my journey and how I got into learning to draw and paint. So uh, I mean, when I actually have a look at my journey and how far I've come, it's like I can't believe some of the things that I've done.
Yeah.
I remember in the art class, he used to say to us, what would it be like to have some of your pictures up on the wall? And at the time, they used to have a corridor that where you would walk to the class. And we did some work, and we actually had our pictures put in this corridor, and that was like, oh my work's up in the corridor, and that was like amazing. And then leading on from that, he said, one day you might be showing in Cooper Gallery. And we thought, no, we couldn't be in a gallery. We're not that sort of artists. Anyway, they ran a competition, and Heather and I decided to enter one of our pictures. And we did it just because we wanted to feel feel something of just entering. But we were lucky enough to both be selected to show our pictures in the gallery. And that in itself was a complete winner.
Yeah.
Um, we were just over the moon with it. And just to think that we'd actually got our pictures in the gallery. And we can remember going to the gallery and feeling so giddy and excited and taking pictures of ourselves stood by them. And since then, we've entered the gallery a few times and had our pictures in there, which has been
Amazing.
amazing. Amazing. And when I think that we started Art for Wellness initially as a Facebook group, and then it grew into a website and the Facebook group, and I've now then we got lottery funding. Oh yeah, this was really exciting.
Oh,
We got lottery funding to set up the Free Resources Library, which
yeah.
is different art tutorials in there that are easy to follow, that people can download or watch and do in their own time. And it's simple exercises on drawing and painting that anybody can have a go at. So with the lottery funding, we set up the Free Resources Scheme Library, and we set up the Bronze membership, which is free to join, and people can go in there and have a go. And one of the things that we learned is that sometimes people would watch in the Facebook group, or they'd follow us on the website, and then they'd come to us a little further down the line and said, oh, I've had a go at doing this. What do you think? Is it good enough for me to share in the group? And that was like so heartwarming to think that they'd engage with it. And yeah, that was brilliant. And then since then, we've now got the VIP group, which is a paid membership, which offers a little bit more, because as a business, it's important that you become sustainable. And
Yeah.
although we had a passion to be able to give everything for free, that wasn't going to last
Mm.
forever. So we had to think about a way of diversifying to bring income into the business. But as a not-for-profit organisation, any profits are reinvested in the business anyway. So it's all got good ethics and everything. So we designed our own merchandise, which started off with like prints and coasters and cards and mugs and various things like that. And we started going along to display in art days, when they have these, I can't remember things, like these events where you can come along and buy things. I can't remember
Yeah.
what it's called. You see, you don't have to be perfect to know all the words to be a success.
Nah, we don't need all that stuff, do we?
But one of the ones we did is called Art at the Woods, and that's based at Shepley, which is not far from where I'm based in Sheffield, Barnsley. And it was a 2-day event, a free event, where you had your art stall to sell your merchandise and everything. And that it was absolutely amazing. And just for meeting the people, that loved to be around creativity and art and making contact. And this year when we did it, we had a tree. By this, it was a picture of on a canvas, a background, and a plain tree. And it was called the Creative Community Collective, whereby people could come along and they could paint with the fingerprints. All they needed to do is put it in the paint, put a leaf on the tree, and share the fact that anybody could have a go at art. And this was so well received. At the end of it, we took lots of pictures and spoke to lots of people with their permission, and we produced an absolutely beautiful piece of work of a tree that was created in the community.
Oh, I love that.
And the feedback that we got from people saying that, it was great to think that anybody could have a go, anyone could join in. And there were people of all ages, from children up to older people as well, that were joining in. Even men were joining in, which is great, because some of them can be a bit reluctant, thinking, "Oh, I can't paint." But just to see them put their mark on the picture was, yeah, it's delightful. So that was one of the things that we did. And then I've also wrote and published 4 books. The first 3 are what I call art journals. And in the art journals, it's about having prompts to get you started, whether it's drawing, scribbling, colouring in. Like this, there was it started off like with the A to Z, so there's a prompt for each letter every day. We did one that was a little, oh gosh, I can't remember, Hope, Little Book of Hope, I think it was. And this was set out for to be able to think of things that you're grateful for, that to write in, and there's lots of prompts in there. But we also did one called Scribble and Sketch, which is our youngest members of Art for Wellness, which are 2 puppets. One is Scribble the Squirrel and Sketch the Hedgehog. And we use them to introduce children. So we wrote a book for children to be engaged in doing art journaling as well. But the one that I'm really proud of is the one that I've launched last week, which is called All Together. And it's a celebration of members' artwork. And this to me was really important. So people that had joined the bronze scheme, and they'd created something either from a tutorial or from their own ideas, that were happy to submit their work to be published in a book. And this could either be anonymous or it could be named, whichever they preferred to do. So the book there is to celebrate their work and to show how art can support wellness and support mental health. And it's about, I want to reduce the stigma of mental health, to realise that it's nothing to be afraid of. It's a natural thing that some people go through in their life, and that art is a valuable way of being able to support that. So yeah, I hope I've told you everything there.
You have, and it's amazing, because actually what I was going to ask is how you feel that creativity and art can benefit us in our wellness. But I feel like we've got that there from your story. It brings a sense of community, doesn't it? Like the event you went to and everybody contributing to that painting. And I know myself, like creativity, I found myself in little circles of people that are like sewers or artists. I'm surrounded by a lot of artists, and it's really great to have conversations around these things and share interests and stuff. Just like the men that go golfing, or women, they want to do it. They go golfing and they talk about golf all day. It's the same. It's that sense of community for us with art and creativity, and I love it. And I have a lot of creative hobbies myself, and I found your story so relatable, because I have always been creative in different ways as I grew up. But then I left school, started getting a job, and I kind of lost that a little bit. Then I had children and it came back, and I feel like we let it go sometimes because we see it as childlike, but I think we should keep that childlike activity, like playing with the paint and things like that. And it does amaze me how talented artists are. I mean, I've tried painting and I will keep trying. I don't think I'm really good at all, but I will keep trying. I mean, I've done some work that's more abstract and it's not actually a painting of anything, but I've been really proud of it. And that feeling, afterwards is amazing. It's how I produced my vision board this year, and I'm in love with it. So other than the sense of community, is there any other benefits that you feel we can really gain from creativity for our wellness?
I think it's really good from a mindfulness perspective and a self-care tool, because it gives you a way to be in the moment.
Yeah,
Um, because it's about exploring your own style. There's no rules, there's no regulations. You're not copying a piece of fine art and it has to be perfect. It's about releasing your emotions and the thoughts in your head and getting them onto paper. And whether that would be through free writing, which is just writing down on paper what your thoughts are, or whether it's from just splashing a lot of paint on there and making a mess, or whether it's doing a picture of something that you're interested in, whether it be an animal or a flower or whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's about finding your own style and that
yeah,
your style is good.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons I have many hobbies, like the mindfulness of it is just, it's great because I struggle to stop and switch off. My husband gets quite annoyed. Are we going to watch a film? Yeah, yeah, we'll watch a film. But then I'm like itching to do something. So for me, sitting on the couch with like a book to colour in or doodle or crochet, I love crocheting when it gets to winter because it's nice and cosy and warm. And the kids love it as well because then they love seeing something come to life and come together. And then, Mummy, can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm like, no, but I'll go learn how. And the learning of it is exciting. And once I've done something, I move on to the next project then because I've got that sense of achievement. You know what I mean? But it's exciting to see what we are capable of creating, isn't it? It really is. And it does massively help our minds in terms of, like you say, the mindfulness, but the wellness as well. Um, why do you think we should try it? Why should we try creativity, especially for our well-being? Why do you think we should give it a go? If it's maybe something that someone's not done before, what would you say to them to give it a go?
I would say don't prejudge yourself. Don't give yourself any boundaries that you think that you can't have a go or you can't do this. And don't listen to any thoughts that other people may have said in the past, because the time is now. Today is a new day and it's a time to learn something new. And one of the things I remember is when I first started learning to draw, for example, I was holding the pencil so tight, I thought I was going to break it. So even if you're feeling a little tense or you're not sure what to do, just have a go. Even if it's just 5 minutes a day, even if it's just colouring in a picture or scribbling. I remember at school when you used to doodle in the margins of your pages.
Yeah,
And, it's just let your imagination go. Just have a go.
I
Just,
love that.
yeah, just have a go.
And it is really important, like you said, around not listening to any like comments we've had in the past. Like I remember being in maths lessons and I used to love the grids on the page because to me that was a pattern that I could make something out of. And I still love that kind of I love gridded paper now because I can just I can do this pattern and I can do that and I love drawing mandalas and things like that. And I remember a few kids in our class used to doodle in the margins, doodle on the edges. So I'm like, I love that. I want to give that a go. And I started giving it a go. But we got in trouble for it. And I think sometimes that sticks with us. No, you shouldn't do that. Well, we're adults now. We can do what the hell we want. We can give this creativity a go and explore it because there's no one that's going to tell us not to. And it's nice to just sit and just have that mindfulness moment and just, I mean, I love doodling. I really do. It just takes me somewhere else. Doodling and crochet, my mind, I don't know where I am because I am not like it's the one time where the thoughts come in and float away. And it's really nice because I can get inspiration for things and new ideas when I'm doing that. And it is really good. And it's actually a practice I have that helps my business actually because having that downtime and that mindful moment means that it allows creativity to flow through me that then means I can produce better things in my business and be more productive later on. And I love the impact of that. In fact, one of my clients shared this yesterday that she had the morning off doing something creative and just doing something she wanted to do. And then afterwards, she had a productive day, even though you'd think, oh, go do this, go do that. But actually, if we stop and take a step back, and do the things that we love and enjoy, then we're going to be productive and we'll enjoy business as well. So how can we try it? If we want to try mindfulness for business, for not business, for wellness, or maybe even to support our business, in fact, how could we, what are some of the ways? I mean, you have touched upon this a little bit, and you have got some amazing journals that we can use, and we'll put the links in the show notes to that. But how can we give it a go? What kind of things can we explore in terms of art and creativity?
I think one of the things that I started to do was just simply colouring in.
Yeah, see,
Um,
anybody can do that, can't they?
yeah. And I can remember at the time, I just got my daughter's old felt tip pens
Yeah,
and
I love a felt tip.
just started colouring in, and it's like I enjoyed this so much as a child. Why do I not do it now?
Yeah,
And I can remember I actually went to the nursing home where my mum, who has Alzheimer's, is, and I did a colouring in session with some of the residents. And I just said, look, it doesn't matter if you go over the lines, it doesn't matter what colours you use. It's a time for you to explore using colours and having a go. And I just sat back and observed some of the feedback and some of the conversations that they were having with each other. Like they'd say, oh, my dad used to say I was really good at colouring, and oh, I'm really enjoying this. I haven't done this for a long time. And oh, yeah, that really looks like a strawberry. I'm really pleased with that. And, just things like it, just so
yeah,
heartwarming that it just made me realise that, yeah, it doesn't matter any age, you
yeah.
can just have a go.
I love that, and it ties into memories there a little bit, doesn't it? Like when I colour, it takes me back to being a child. And me and I've got two sisters, but well, they're both younger than me, but the oldest of the two, because there's a massive gap between me and my youngest sister. We used to sit down and draw and colour in a lot, whereas my other sister was very boisterous and likes football. She still does to this day. She's a football player and a bowler and things, and she does all the sports. But us two, we're all creative in our own ways, but we're creative in we used to sit and draw, we used to sit and colour. And wherever we went, actually, thinking back, we were doing something. Like my dad went bowling, which is where my sister got it from, and she'd be out running around and he's bowling. But me and my other sister, we'd start drawing and colouring in. We'd go to like a family club at weekend, which we loved. And we'd be in between dancing with our friends and sat down colouring and talking to my grandparents about what we're drawing and getting inspiration and new ideas and reading books and like trying to like copy it from the book and stuff like that. And I was always found with a pen and paper, either writing or drawing, to be fair. I mean, my drawing skills are not as great because I'm out of practice, but I have been giving it a go recently. And I got some amazing feedback on Facebook because I love to share my creative products. Well, yeah, what I produce. I love to share. And it's amazing the sense of community there as I've shared it on social media and the feedback I got. And I'm like, I've never in my life drawn flowers and I give it a go. I've posted it and I got some amazing feedback. And oh, thank you. And it's just so nice that other people can then appreciate it as well. And that was just from me having a bit of downtime. And I love that. It's just such a good
And
feeling. Is there any
you
other
know,
ways that you recommend? Is there any alternative and unexpected ways we can try art and be creative?
well, the thing for me is being creative is more than art and painting. I mean,
Yeah,
it is whether it's knitting, whether it's listening to music, whether it's reading a book, whether it's doing woodwork, pottery, um, crafting. It could be
yeah,
absolutely anything. And that's why I set it up as creative wellness journey, because I wanted to incorporate any type of creativity.
yeah. I
So
love that.
yeah, so it's a celebration of anything that you do. It's what you do with your hands. Your hands are known for being the source into your heart. So whatever you produce with your hands, it could, yeah, it's sorry, I just get emotional just thinking about it. But yeah, it's just whatever you are passionate about creating. I mean, last week I had time with my friend where we thought we got some wool, and we thought we'd
Yeah,
have a go with some wool, and we made these little gonks. So there were little gonks with a little hat on
yeah,
and a little nose, and they were quite easy to do, but we really, really enjoyed it. It was something so different,
yeah,
and yeah, it's just exploring and finding something simple to do.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I did gongs last year. I started crocheting. I always come up with something new each year now. I got obsessed with pumpkins at Halloween, so we've still got loads of them, but we can use them for decoration. And then Christmas came along, and I'm like, what can I make now? And it was gongs, because they seem to be everywhere, so I learned how to do that. But when I did it, I followed along from YouTube videos, but I didn't quite like the pattern. So then it allowed me to be like creative with how I wanted to do it and make it that little bit different. So that was really good, because it actually meant that I developed a new skill in creating patterns, which I've never done before. And then this year it's reindeers. The only trouble is I can't just make one. My kids request them, so I have to make 3 this year. I'm hoping we're going to use them as decorations, but I've got a feeling they're all going to pinch them to cuddle at night. So we'll see how that goes. But if you follow me on social media, you'll see them for those that are listening. I know Debbie will probably see them, but yeah, I'd love to encourage everybody to share their creative products or whatever they produce online, and we want to see them, don't we? And message me, Debbie, and show us and let us know what you've been creating. That'd be so nice to see. And if you're a business owner that's creative, I'll give it a share as well. I love sharing other businesses. I've supported a lot of businesses this Christmas, which is exciting. I've got Debbie's art in my home actually as well. I got 2 prints and a card from you, didn't I? And the card, I've not even got it for the purpose of a card. I just thought it was beautiful, so I just wanted to have it as a piece of art, so it can just sit in my room and just look pretty, to be fair. And it was a dream catcher, and I love dream catchers. Yeah, so it is amazing. Thank you so much, Debbie, for sharing your story with us today and diving into creativity for wellness. It's been such an interesting topic to talk about. And one thing I do want to ask that, well, actually, before I ask this question, where can we find you if we want to connect with you and see your art and be part of your community? How do we find you?
Yeah, I'll share the links with you, but you can find me on my website, which is creativewellnessjourney.co.uk. And I'm also on Facebook as Art for Wellness with Debbie Crouch. I've also got various things out there. I started I started doing things like TikTok and Instagram and various things like that. So
Yeah.
there's lots out there, yeah.
Yeah, go give Debbie a start. We'll put the links in the show notes so you can have a look and see what she's been up to. And then finally, the question that I ask all my guests to relate it back to what I do: what is your biggest tip for being organised within your business?
My biggest tip that I've learned is to carve out time for yourself.
Oh, I love that. Well, nobody said that yet.
I have a journal that I write things in, and I make sure I put a block of colour in particular days, especially at the weekend, because I think you need to try and preserve some of the weekend. If you can't do it all, some of the weekend for yourself, but just colour block time that you know you're going to do something creative or something for yourself or go for a walk or whatever it may be.
I love
That's the
that.
biggest lesson I've learned.
I do that as well. It's Wednesdays. At the moment, I'm working Wednesdays, but from January, I'll have them off again. But Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays are my creativity time with family, time for myself. And I block them out in green. Green for like health and self-care and healing is why I went with green. That I do that as well. That's an amazing tip. And like we've discussed today, that time for yourself, if that includes creativity, it does help you be more productive. So that is an amazing tip, Debbie. Thanks for sharing that. And thanks for joining us today. It's been a pleasure. And I'll see you soon.
Oh, thank you, Dani. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you for inviting me as a guest.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks a lot.